everybody. Just getting the room filled up. I'm sending a tweet out now. Gonna get Ada Girl and everyone in here. Thank you for joining already, and we'll be with you in just a sec. What's up, Ada Girl?
Hey girl, I'm so excited.
Me
I know,
too.
I'm so happy to see everybody here. We've got Allie and Crypto Girl. We've got so many people. So excited.
Yes. Hey AI. Hey River. Hey CeeLo. New freshman, Tijuana, Christopher. We see y'all. The Clutch. Thank you for joining in.
Totally.
Can't
We're
wait
so
to talk to
excited.
everybody. Us, yes. We have been chatting about this all day. So excited. Here, let me get Ken up. Malibu Ken. And then I'm going to get Chronic up. We're going to go ahead and just start the space real quick as people fill in. Ada Girl and I wanted to tell our stories real quickly on how our journey into crypto, and have our husbands, Chronic and Ken, come up and talk about their experience with us, as husband and wife into crypto, as we pull the room in. And then after that, we'll want all the ladies to come up and talk about their journeys and where they're at in this journey, where you're headed. We want to hear everything, all about it all. Please do not hesitate to come up and talk. We are so excited to hear from you and to get to know you. And we are just as nervous as all of you. So come on up and break the ice. We will break it for you.
Yeah, we are super just elated that so many people were interested. If y'all can, please just reshare the space so that we can share the love and get more people in here so we can hear more stories. And it was just a really cool kind of, I don't know, serendipity event that, Krissy and I just started talking and talking about how much we really respected each other in the space. And then I told her, I would just love to hear your story. She goes, I would love to hear your story. I was like, oh my God, wait, girl, let's do something about
Yes.
this.
It just happened. Yeah, out of nowhere. It was perfect. The universe aligned, like you said.
Exactly.
And we're lucky to be on similar journeys. I cannot wait to hear how you guys got into it, because, y'all have been in it longer than us. And I would love to hear where you're at, and how you got to where you are at, because we're kind of behind you guys, watching and learning as well. And hearing about your journey is going to help ours, and hopefully others on theirs, especially as husband and wife, because it's definitely unique.
Totally. I do believe that you don't see very many teams like that, like a husband-wife team, but I think it really does complement the whole journey really well because, we kind of divide and conquer certain things. So I definitely think that it's a unique situation, right? Because before, if you're like by yourself, no one wants to hear about crypto around you. No one wants to hear it. They're like, shut up. But when you're a husband wife team, that's all we talk about all day long.
Oh
And
my God, I
so,
know. There was the life before this, and then there's life after that. I mean, completely night and
totally,
day.
totally. And so it is a very unique journey. However, I wouldn't rather do it with anyone else but my husband, right? But in
Yes.
the same way, as a woman, I do notice there's not a lot of women in this space. So I respect everybody that I see that are women, and I just always want to try to reach out and try to figure out, hey, what's going on?
Same, same. And I mean, I was really taken aback in the beginning, when I started getting into it. I was in a few communities that really didn't have very many, women at all. And so I wasn't on Twitter yet. I was more in Discord. So I didn't know at all. I didn't think there were really any at all in there. I thought that I was just kind of jumping into something completely foreign to women because, none of my friends had ever heard of it before. And then I got onto Twitter and seeing how many ladies are actually here and are killing it and are way ahead of the game that I even understand and that I can learn from. And the ones that are behind that I can help is just really mind blowing. And just the love we got from opening up this space has just been phenomenal from so many amazing women. So I'm actually blown away at how many are in it, and I'm really excited about it.
Me too. And I think again, it speaks to the volumes of I think there really wants to be a massive connection. I think sometimes we all kind of operate in silos. So I think it is important to have these types of spaces. And I know I told you this earlier, but I am just so glad that we just did this. It was sometimes you just have to just do it. And I would love to hear your story. And let me see, I still haven't even retweeted this space. So let me retweet the space. I think we need to start with your journey and Chronic's journey. And then, I can talk about our journey because, I'm just really excited. Like I said, this is a great, great time to be able to share our stories, empower other people, and maybe even potentially inspire people. So, yeah, let me tweet out the space.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for doing that. Everybody, if you're also tweeting it out for us, that would be great. Please tag the women in crypto, women in Cardano, anything you can do to pull some more ladies in here, or just men who would like to have their ladies listen or learn about how to invite their ladies in. That would be great. But yeah, I'll go ahead and start with mine and Chronic's journey. So, he started way long ago, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard about his. So but he tried to talk to me about, explain to me about crypto for a few years, after he started listening to Charles Hoskinson, and I started listening as well, not really knowing what was going on, but I was just trying to take in whatever information I could to have my I'm a very creative thinker. I'm an artist, and he's very literal and logical. And so, him listening to Charles Hoskinson is a lot different than me. But I kept trying to take in whatever I could, and to understand what he was so excited about in this journey. And it took a few years, probably 2 years, of him talking about all of this to me and explaining. Crypto and NFTs for my brain to start just getting more interested and wanting to actually come try out what he was talking about. So the whole NFTs, he started showing me like maybe I think it was chilled Kongs or so. They were minting, but I wasn't quite in it with him yet. I thought the pictures were cute, but I didn't know what he was buying it for. But he wanted, my artistic eye to pick out some sorry, I had a text come in that throws me off. No, but he wanted my eye to look at some Kongs to pick some out for him and help him to pick ones, even though I didn't know what he was buying them for. Well, then the equine white paper, he asked me to read that. And he knew I'm very into horses. I love horses so much. So he knew that would connect me with me. And it did. It helped me to completely understand NFTs, and utility and why you would even want to buy an NFT, what you can do with it, passive income. I started really getting excited about it. And even the idea of equine and the game of it and the love of horses, all of that, just everything got me. So it was the best case scenario for him to introduced me into NFTs. Then after that, we just kind of started becoming a sniping team. That got me really excited, learning how to buy more rare traits, rare NFTs, and keep learning about their utility behind it. And I didn't know that long ago people just bought it well, not long ago, but before that, the people just bought it for a picture. I didn't know that at all because the first white paper I read was equine. So I started learning that it was also about the art and people would buy about the art. And, we just moved into then we wanted to start a YouTube video. We are a YouTube channel. We had been talking about doing a family one for years because we love to travel and we have 4 kids and our life is crazy. And I think anybody would get a kick out of seeing some things, that we go through on the daily, just like a lot of people. But once this love of NFTs started happening organically together, we went ahead and decided to make a YouTube channel in this direction. Definitely inspired by Freedom 35ers and Blake CP and Block is Hot and all the YouTubers that he had been watching and I started watching with him, were giving us the inspiration to create ours. We hadn't seen a husband and wife duo, on the YouTube yet. I hadn't seen a lot of channels yet, but that just was something that we thought would be fun to do. And it just kind of started taking off. We started meeting so many amazing people, developers of projects, learning more and more together. Now we just mint together, talk to do interviews and talk on Twitter spaces. I mean, it's been a crazy, amazing journey that has just, grown so quickly, but so organically and excitingly at the same time that I feel very blessed to be here. And here the universe has now put me with you, Ada girl, which you are here with your husband. And you guys have been you're an ambassador for Cardano. I don't even know all the things you guys have been doing because I feel like I'm so much later in the game than y'all. So to hear and learn from you, it's just going to be really exciting for me and all the other ladies in here who are ready to come up and speak today, which thank you again.
Yeah, I love hearing your story because there's a lot of parallels with our story. But we started a while back, and it has been quite the journey. I think almost like you, my husband is he's the risk taker. I'm not. I'm very analytical. I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm the one who reads all the white papers. I'm like, okay, babe, this is a good project. I like to know exactly what we're getting into, you know? So that is one thing too that, I just come from a research background. So the term white paper is very common in the research field. So I was like, oh yeah, I've got to read the white paper. And so I think one of our first projects that we minted was Clay Nation. And I know I'm going to let my husband tell you a story. It was so funny, but that was our first one. And we could only secure one because it was, there's a lot of people and minting was a little bit different back then. But then the next project that we did was Yummy. And we got, I want to say about we secured 14 yummies because obviously we've gotten a little bit better. It was exciting, just like you said, exciting. It was like, man, this is such a rush. And we secured 14 and then we flipped them. Like the next day, we flipped them at that time, it was crazy amounts, right? Like 300, 400, something like that. And then we kept a lot of them because then the price went down and we're like, yeah, we're not going to sell them. I loved them. I loved yummies. I mean, I just loved them. I hated selling them. But, the flipping at that time was what you tried to do. And so the more that we got experience, I love the fact that you use the term like sniping teams because sometimes if you didn't get a mint, you want to go and sweep the floor, right? And so that's what we did together. And back then it was a little painful because we didn't have smart contracts, right? So it was it was super fun. We had to really try to figure it out, but it made us like really try to get the gist of the stuff. And but the more that we started doing it, the more we came, of course, everyone comes in, oh, we're gonna make money. But once we were here, the NFT community was crazy amazing. That's really what kept us here and wanted us. I mean, it made us stay and made us kind of look a lot harder in the whole state. And then the summit came. So when they announced the summit, I told my husband, let's I said, let's go to Wyoming because I think there's going to be a lot of people there and it'll be really cool. So we went to Wyoming for the summit, and it was the most mind-blowing experience, y'all. For me, of course, it was the first time that I've gone to meet people in person, but seeing Charles, seeing his personality up close and how he was with everyone, I was just so, I mean, I just like you guys, I'd seen the white board video and then his AMAs that he did all the time. But when you're like right there, right in front of them, and then you see everybody that you've seen on YouTube or in the space. I mean, at that time they weren't spaces, but when you're seeing them on Twitter, but it was really great. It was so cool. I came back with a renewed sense of purpose. Like I was telling my husband when we were driving back, it's like, this is it, baby. Like I feel like this is where we belong, right? And so that January, I started meetups in Houston because I was shocked when I came back. There were no local meetups. So I made that a goal for myself to be like someone who teaches people at the local level. And so that's where I started doing it. It started that January, and he was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" I was like, "Yes, yes, I want to do it." And so our group grew, and it was super fun to do. So that's how I became a Cardano ambassador. I was applying every month for like 4 months, 4 or 5 months. And I never heard back, but I just kept applying, you know? And you can go apply at, I believe it's at cardanofoundation.org. Anybody can apply, but there's like four different types of ambassadors. There are content creators, there are translators, there are ambassadors for meetups, and then there's a fourth one. I can't remember what it is, but either way, if you have something to give to the space, you should apply. Anyone can apply. And I was really happy to see that they accepted me, and I was part of the Cardano ambassador, so I was like all in doing that. But I really think either way, everything that brings me back is to the people. I'm so happy with the people that we met. This past consensus, we went and we met so many amazing people. Ali was there. There was I mean, a lot of like big projects were there too. I got to meet a lot of people from cornucopias. I mean, the project, name it, they were there. It was amazing. It was just so wonderful. So again, it just realigned my purposes again. And then I came back here. One thing I have to tell you, I've been meaning to reach out to Krissy, to you specifically, because been in a lot of spaces with Chronic, and I admired the fact that every time you would talk, even if you weren't in the space, he would always say, Krissy thinks this, Krissy thinks that. And so I could see that you guys were like a real team, and he would speak so highly of you. And I think that that is, again, something that I kind of resonated with because um, our husbands are so proud of us being in the space, because there's not a lot of women. There are women in the space, and I think I know pretty much all the women that are in the space. At some point, I've touched, we've crossed paths, but it is just such a neat thing of how we all come together. And I don't know their stories. Like, I don't know how they got here. I got here because I bought Dogecoin a long time ago. And then it just kind of led me to this path of where I am now, where I am just committed to our community and just making things better, honestly. And I know Chronic, I've heard him in a lot of spaces. He's very knowledgeable. You're very knowledgeable. And I'm just glad and I'm happy to be here. And I want to hear everyone else's stories because this is kind of where I feel like we're all growing together, and it's very exciting.
Wow, I'm so thankful for you to have us up here and to say those kind words. And what you said about Chronic, he is my biggest supporter, so I really appreciate you saying that and pointing that out because that's huge too. I wouldn't be in here and be doing all of this if he wasn't so supportive of me. So I am really thankful to him for that and appreciate that. So, should we go ahead and see their views on, us coming in with them really quick?
Yeah.
Um,
I,
who'd like to go ahead and
Yeah,
say,
I'll jump in. What's up? Hey, hey. Hey, girl, that was sweet.
hey,
Thank you so
Carter.
much. I loved hearing it. What up, AI? Man, look, I appreciate you saying everything. For one, I love the word serendipity you said, right? Because the other day I just sent Chris, that's what I distracted. It said, I invite and accept serendipity into my life. Like that's like a little quote we
Yes.
screenshotted the other day and sent to each other. So that's what I distracted her. So it was kind of like right in the beginning, I resonated. But I also appreciated like everything you said, of course. But at the end, she's not in these spaces with me, right? Like, and she thinks I'm glad that I say what I say, but she don't believe me. You feel me? So thank you for kind of having my back in that sense, because Ada Girl has been in that shit since like a Thursday, like back in January, like type like stuff like maybe my first Twitter space I ever spoke with. She was sitting there in the bottom lurking, and you spoke that night. You feel me? So I'm telling you, and you said I was C-Loke or some shit.
But you sounded like Tone Loke.
Tone Loke. You see, I don't even know who that is now.
Yes.
I don't even know. I'm telling you. I'm like, who? I know who it is, but I'm telling you, I'm showing my age and my. But so thank you for that, because I guess I am. I mean, obviously, everybody knows I'm a loudmouth and this, that, and the other. So like having her be overshadowed, it kind of sucks, because I'm not a feeler. I'm a fixer. You know what I'm saying? If it resonates with anyone, like if my wife's like getting mad, I want to get mad at people, or I want to fix it. Like, so I want people to see that she's like behind the scenes. Of course, you women with the kids and everything, y'all keep everything together. But in this NFT game, I mean, she keeps everything organized. She's editing these videos. She is like an integral part of everything. I mean, without her, I mean, I couldn't be doing it. For one, I couldn't be doing Discord. You can't be doing Discord with 4 kids and a wife and that shit. And like, without being like, who the fuck are you talking to, dude? Like, get off of that shit and come, your kids are, I did that with Block Owls and I got OG. And then that's why I was like begging, like, dude, I need you in this with me. You feel me? Like, so that was not long after. Like, it took like 3 more weeks after that, kind of, for her to get like acquainted with that client and stuff. So the other thing is, it's like women in here. Just we encourage them to, we want more inclusivity, or if that's the proper word, because we all add any value to this. It's not like me or. Anyway, so I'm going off on a tangent. I love her being here with me. It helps, for one, any whether you got your brother, anybody that lives with you, family, my kids, when they're able, they love, like, they will be trying to help us do this, and it is a business, and that's how we're looking at acquiring, etc., because we're going to be trying to try to sell horses, and I can teach these kids, if you give them a pair, here your next 16 months of your life, make this path, grow this. It's like making a lemonade stand, figure out how to do it, kind of thing. I've never done it, so I wish I had someone to do it for me. No, man, but this journey it's fun to have someone and to experience all this with. It definitely eats into your wallet, though, because you ladies like to shop, and we don't always have the same taste. And it took a minute, not even a minute, but like it took some, arguing, like that shit ain't gonna sell, like, or like, you don't know everything, just coming a game 6 weeks longer than her doesn't mean I did it, but like, we do have like a, so anyway,
Okay,
so
I
that,
had one bad pick. Like,
no, I know.
Come on, what about
We
yours?
do have like
What
a little
about
Joe
yours?
Burrow, like little Lego looking thing,
Oh
like
my God, I love
whatever. I
that.
mean, just saying, like whatever. I do have
I
a
bought
Joe
that because
Burrow
it's Joe
bobblehead
Burrow.
doll and Jamar Chase bobblehead that she gave me for Father's Day. So thank you. But like the shit in my NFT digital shit, we don't need it. No, anyway, so I had a lot of bad picks too. It's great. Like I said, it's amazing for you to have a partner in crime, to like straight up have, another opinion, just another wallet, shit, another minting opportunity, because this is big money. Shit, I'm rambling. I
Yeah.
love everything about this. It's been fun. I want you guys to keep doing it so y'all can have y'all time in the spotlight, because I always freaking talk. So thank y'all for having me. And
Thank
I'm a
it was
you.
a
host
long
now. I'm
time
gonna
coming.
kick you down to listener.
You
No,
brought
I'm
up
just
a really
kidding.
good point, though. A really good point that I want to just kind of enhance is we are in spaces, and the majority of the time it is a lot of guys, but I have never run to an issue or a problem with and I'm going to say gentlemen in this space. It is very unique, and I think it is wonderful. And I just want to give a shout out to all those guys who have been inclusive, who have, brought us into the conversation because, um, let's just say in other chains, it's not like that all the time. So I feel very blessed to be here with people like, all the guys who have been so full. And I don't think you guys hear it enough. So I'm telling you, and Chrissy's telling y'all, you guys are the bee's knees. Y'all are the shiz. So thank y'all for that.
Yeah, thank you. Last thing, I mean, all the crew, the NFA crew and everybody on the stage and everybody in the listen is like, this is like a big, giant freaking family from Reddick who's got me in this freaking thing. Him and D Clay put us on with the Wallet Wednesday, just homies talking, and he's blowing up, and we all blowing up. We all going together. That's why, this is our time to shine. So this is what's up, man. So I'm shutting up.
Can I speak? Hey, so hi. So I'm a reporter from India, and I just stumbled upon this space, and I've been hearing into whatever you're speaking for some time now, and it seems so wonderful how all of you are so supportive of each other. And I just wanted to appreciate how you're saying that even your spouses are supporting you through this journey, and it's really wonderful to listen into you. So thank you for the space as well. Trying to bring a woman's point of view because women are pretty underappreciated in this industry, and like Chronic just said that uh, they believe, and all of you probably believe in a more inclusive environment which has more women representatives. So thank you for this.
Thank you so much for saying that. And we're so happy that you're here.
Yes, thank you for joining and coming up and speaking. Do you want to tell us anything about your journey?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I graduated from college and I got a job making reels for a firm which used to make like crypto news sort of reels, and I did not really know anything about it. But like you said, the community in cryptocurrency is actually very supportive. They helped me out, they taught me everything from scratch, and now I'm a reporter in one of the national televisions channel, a news channel, and it's been really incredible. The thing about which I would like to add is, which I believe is, the same across all crypto communities across the world, is we're very welcoming. We help people who don't know anything. We help people, give them the knowledge, help them out with so many things, resources and all, which you don't see in, most often in other communities, be it Web2 or other things. So that's something like about all communities, related to crypto across the world. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for that. That is amazing. We're really lucky for you to come on up and tell us about that. Maria, hey girl, what is up with you?
Hey, Krissy, how are you? Is this your first?
Yes.
Congratulations. I didn't think you ever hosted a space before, so.
Thank you. I think I have once before for the Ape Society. Other than that, I usually co-host or just hang out. And so thank you. I appreciate you joining up.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me. Sorry I was late. I'm moving right now, so I have to move out of my house on Monday. So I'm it's a little crazy over here right now, but yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Maria, we would love to hear some about your journey on here. You were someone that I saw right away as when I got onto Twitter, one of the first ladies that I saw who intrigued me and got me excited that, there were other girls in NFTs. And, the fact that you are a mod in Ugly Bros, there's a lot that you do. You have a big following. What about your start in crypto and in NFTs, or just kind of where you're at right now, whatever you want to say. I know you may have gone over your story before, but anything you want to give us about your journey from beginning to here.
Yeah, definitely. So I started buying crypto like in maybe 2017. Just like kind of for fun. I didn't follow it. I just had some friends who were buying it, and I just bought it and left it in my Coinbase. Nothing too crazy. And then I started NFTs in, let me think, I think it was November, early November of last year. And I didn't own any Cardano. I didn't really know too much about ADA. I started like on YouTube looking into NFTs, and I, just kind of started to explore, and then eventually I found CNFTs, and I learned a lot about ADA, and I really like the community here. I like the vision and everything of Charles and everything. So yeah, this is where I found my home, was on Cardano. So then my first job as a mod was with Nifty World, and then kind of through that I had some friends who were mods. He was a mod at Ugly Bros, and then I love that project. I love Ugly Bros. I love what Sergio is doing. So then yeah, I became a mod there, I think at the beginning of the year. I don't remember when exactly, but yeah. So I'm trying to think. So that's where, yeah,
So how do you feel being a mod in a bigger project like that as a woman? How do you feel in your position that you get treated, say, differently, better, worse? How is your experience? Just about that.
well, I think the team is really, and I feel like this all in the whole community. I don't feel any different. I don't feel that I'm treated any better, any more poorly being a woman in the space. And I feel the same way with the team. And I don't feel that I'm on the team because I'm a woman. I feel that I'm on the team because, I'm a good fit for the team, just like everyone else. So, yeah, I really have the same sentiment as Ada Girl. Like, and I think I tweeted this out like maybe like 2 weeks ago. Like, I feel like the CNFT community, like they treat women so well, and there's no like discrimination or anything like that. Um, so I really appreciate it, and I agree. There's a lot of gentlemen here, and you guys have always treated me very, very well, and I think most of the girls here could say the same thing.
I completely agree. I already consider so many of the guys in here like brothers. It's unbelievable. They have invited us all in with open wings. We have been treated so well. As some of my best friends, I feel like, are going to be on this space. Yeah, I mean, Reddick and D Clay, I appreciate them so much, what they've done for me. They got me up on Wallet Wednesday super early, got me into speaking on Twitter Spaces, which I've always appreciated, on one of their Women in Cardano spaces. And then my NFA gang, Dahlia, Tal, E46, Ada Man, Goose, and CeeLo, of course, my honey chronic. They are just the best. They are so supportive of all the women in the space. They always want to have my back and everything. And all of you ladies, they talk so highly of any of the women on here, and they, right when they heard about us having this space, they said we got to be in there. And I just appreciate the support so much. Just like you, Maria, all the ugly bros, Serge and everybody in there, Roy, and just everyone treats us with so much respect and so much love. And I appreciate that project and that team as well, just on that, and how much they love the ladies and support us all. So, Allie, what is up, girl? Thanks for coming up to speak.
Of course. No, I saw the Journey into Crypto, a Women's View post shared out, and I was like, I have to join in, of course. And I've had the pleasures of seeing most of you, through this space. As Ada Girl had mentioned, I feel like I know almost all of you now, compared to when I first joined the space. It was like the same 5 girls over and over again. So it's just nice to see more female representation whether it's from our own, volition of coming into crypto, or, the very common story where boyfriend or husband brought us in. And, I kind of wish that when I was doing the Women Crush Wednesday things, that the men would be like, my wife is involved secondhand, or something, without them having to actually be involved in NFTs. It's just like, you guys are there, whether you were buying NFTs or not. You guys were definitely there, sitting next to your spouse, kind of like learning or irritated that they were online for hours on end. And so, in a way, you guys were here from the beginning, whether you had a wallet or not. But it's very much appreciated to see you guys coming through on your own. So I'm loving the stories. And sorry, my voice probably sounds like crap because NFT NYC like wrecked my vocal cords. So
Oh, I'm so jealous. I bet it was a blast. It looked a blast.
it was definitely a good time. It was like a continuation of Consensus, just a little bit smaller, but definitely more representation than NFT NYC the year prior. And what makes me giggle a lot is that good portion of the women who had mentioned that they've been in this space, their first encounter was through the Wyoming summit. And I'm like, where were you guys? Because I didn't see you when I went there. So it's
Oh,
just,
I was there. I was like everywhere. And I think that's why it's so funny because it wasn't that big of a space, but I think we just didn't know each other. Like it's like
right?
you see people, but you don't see them because you don't know them. So it's like the weirdest thing. Because I see like I was talking to Pritesh and he was there, but I didn't ever see him there. Like I didn't see. He was like I was there. Like oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think the
So
only people I met was Cinnabon, Big Pay, um, and then like a few other people there. It was very, very small. Sacred, from Rakindo Collective, Rakindo, and then the Hype Schools team. That was pretty much all I met. It was technically also, I think, the last day, because Jason and I were also celebrating our 2-year anniversary, and we're actually staying in Denver, and then decided to just drive up to Wyoming for one of the days to go check it out and see who we could go and meet. And got really, really lucky to meet a lot of people, and that's where a lot of my inspirations came from.
well, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you being here too. Um, yeah, I appreciate all the women being here. This is freaking amazing and incredible. And again, it just goes back to our gut feeling when we're chatting that, we kind of need to hear these stories. We want to hear where we came from, what we did and everything. Um, but yeah, I'm so grateful for everyone being here.
Ali, I have a question because I know you started Cardano Women. Can you talk about like what inspired that and when you started that and everything? I never heard your story about that.
Yeah, actually, that was around that same time of the summit. So when I landed, well, actually, let me backtrack just a little bit further. Jason was in the space via Clubhouse back in February of last year. And I was working retail, so I would come home and I'm like, get off your phone, spend time with me. Like, I don't understand this NFT thing. And I was actually mad. I was like, what is this community thing that you're talking about? Because all I was seeing was police at all in the mall. Because you have to tell them to wear a mask, you have to do all of those kind of things. And then I think like I slowly started getting traction to it when I started seeing it on my own like Facebook feed, because I saw like a few models making posts as to why they were looking into NFTs, buying back their image because people in Hollywood don't really own their content or anything. And being a freelance model, I was like, holy crap, that's a whole game changer, because I remember going through the modeling agency and being told I was too short or whatever have you, was the conversation back in the 90s, and the industry was changing, and it still is changing very fast. So I listed up a few things on OpenSea, and that was like $400 to put up an image on that side. And I was kind of gutted because I was working retail and that was practically most of my paycheck. And then I started listening to spaces as well, secondhand through Jason, and found out about Cardano. And then I rolled into Linda Malou's server and put up a piece on auction from there and discovered there was no gas fees. And I was like, whoa, this is like huge game changer. But I was still like dabbling between communities. And when I landed in Denver for our second anniversary year together with Jason, I opened my phone and I opened Twitter, and the first space I saw on the top bar back when we had to have 500 followers to have a Twitter space was why did I want to say Linda Grace? Lori Grace had a space. She's a beautiful trans representing woman, and she had like 163 people in her space. And I was blown away because I had never seen a space that big before, and let alone women. Like so many women in the space compared to like the fraction that you would see in like Cardano Nights was mostly men and maybe like one or two straggling women, like Mermaida or something. So I actually wanted to start hosting spaces, but she was overwhelmed with minting and running a stake pool. And then when I got to the Cardano Summit and seeing that one woman that I had actually met during that time was there, I was like, I think I'm going to start hosting spaces and finding more women in this space. And she was all about it, all on board with it. And it was also around the same time when I was thinking that maybe I could take a step back from it. It was really scary. Where, I mean, there was protests happening in my mall. Sometimes we would get like a notification from the mall saying, we either had to evacuate or shelter into place because there was a protest going or potential shooting was going to happen, whatever warnings. And I was just terrified. I just like, I want to stay home. I don't want to run into that risk. And so I quit my job on Halloween, and Hero had actually reached out to me to help out with scheduling projects on Cardano Nights. And I said, I would love to, as long as I can also, utilize your platform a little bit to advertise Cardano women and having spaces on my platform as well. And huge, huge shout out to Jenny Brito, by the way. She saw my post saying my goal was to reach 500 followers so I could host a space because that was what the game was back in the day. And she hosted a giveaway and got me to 1,000 followers. And not even a month later was there like the game changer of opening up the Cardano Women account. So that way I wasn't, overpowering the women's voices with my own personal voice and my own account, and I could start running spaces immediately without having to hit 500 followers. But like it was just crazy time going from Discord to Twitter to having these different like levels of restriction is what it felt like. It was like I want to have a voice on Twitter to learn about crypto, to learn about the people in the space, and hosting a Women's Crush Wednesday space. Everyone was repeating the same 5 people. It was Linda, it was Mermaida, and then Sacred, and a few other girls. But no one was actually talking about like anyone else. Like, for example, Shweta, the first stake pool operator woman, by the way, Maria Carmo, I didn't learn about until a month after. And these women were powerhouses in crypto. So it just evolved from a mission to find more women and learn about crypto to just amplifying the voices of the women in the space and bringing more women into the space. And then, of course, also when I was listening into Twitter Spaces with Lori Grace, finding out some women were logging in through VPNs because in their country, Twitter is banned and different things. So it's just like it's crazy to see the dynamic of when asked what is holding women back from joining a multitude of reasons, whether lack of education, lack of access, and so much. And I think that that's where I found my calling to do better. When we were talking about Web3 being a new frontier, that we can make our own rules and things, that was really what hit home for me.
Well, we are so happy to hear your story, and you've done so much, and we appreciate your efforts. So, I would like to get my husband up here real quick before we start getting. I mean, I just want to hear everybody's stories, but he really wants to talk real quickly about his journey with supporting me and other women in the space.
Hey everybody, how's it going tonight?
Hey, Ken. Thanks for
What's
coming
up, Ken?
outside. We're excited to hear.
It's kind of funny. I got to tell the story real quick. My name is Jeff. Malibu Ken is like my old gamer tag because my
Oh,
buddy was I had a buddy that we always played on all these Halo, these shoot 'em up games or whatever. And so I was Ken and he was Barbie. So this is like an old gamer tag of mine. But my name's Jeff actually. Or you can call me Malibu, whichever.
I'm Vince. What up, Jeff?
Nice to meet you.
Oh shit! I know you. I didn't know that. But
Yeah, it's kind of silly. I like to say I have a little bit of experience under my belt. So, I've been gaming a long time. I don't game as much anymore because I'm more focused on, making money and figuring out crypto and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I mean, basically, for our story, uh, last year we were just really trying to figure out we're looking at our 401k, looking at stocks, looking at all these things, and Integral says, "Hey, I want to buy some Doge." I'm like, "Go ahead and let's do it." And so it kind of like kicked off this whole spiraling effect of like, "Hey, this is kind of cool," and everything. And so we really dipped our toes into learning about like just crypto and really just what blockchain was and really what all the different layer ones were and all the layer twos and try to understand and just get our heads around that. So we spent a lot of nights and evenings just either watching videos or reading white papers or whatever because we were just really interested. And once we hit on Charles and his whiteboard speech, we were like, and then he had like some other kind of like keynote speech that he did. We were like, oh man, we're like all into Cardano. So because we felt like this need for both of us have grown kids, and we've been together for 3 years, and we're like, man, we really want to have grandkids, and we really want to leave the world in a better space than from where from what we have today. And so we were like really thinking like, what kind of impact can we make on it's really hard to do in stocks and stuff like that. But crypto is one of these things where I've been in IT for a really long time, for 25 years after I got out of college. And so I lived through Web2 days. And so now we're in Web3 days. And so for me, like when she started talking to me about this stuff, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, this is like a new way of moving money, or it could be, there's all these other utilities, but obviously it was when we first began, it was just looking at it from a token value. And so we were like, yeah, this is a really unique way of moving money across the world and how this is going to revolutionize things. And so we're really, I'm more of the, I have a very, my experience is, in IT, building data centers, working for large oil companies, stuff like this, and so like I've been doing IT for a really long time. But Ada Girls, like, hey, this seems pretty interesting, and so she dove headfirst into it and started learning blockchain. And so, what encouraged me is that she was so willing to just be like a sponge and soak everything up. And when she had a question, we could talk it out, and then we could explain. Hopefully, I could explain it to her the way I saw it. And sometimes she, she does her homework and then she explains things to me that maybe I didn't understand. So it was a really good sounding board for us when we were learning to be able to go back and forth and kind of double our efforts on, what's going on in the space. Obviously, when NFTs came along, it was kind of a different story. We were like, man, this is kind of cool. Like we saw the Bored Ape, we heard about the Bored Ape thing, we heard about cyberpunks, we heard about, when we first got into Cardano, we heard about Space Buds. So obviously, but we were like, man, it's like so much ADA, right, to buy a Space Bud. But obviously, we started minting, and I think she said earlier I should tell the clay story. So I went out there and I'm like, I'm gonna mint a clay, and she's like, babe, do whatever you want to do. It'll be, do whatever, because she just didn't. It wasn't something that was resonating with her at the time, and so like I went and minted one, and it was like 40 ADA, right? And I'm like, oh, cool, this is so cool. We got a clay, and it wasn't like one of the top ones, but it was like, hey, I got a cool clay or whatever. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna sell it, and I put it up for 80, and it sold. And I was like, oh, we doubled our ADA. Like we were like, oh, we're gonna make it. Like, and we didn't. Of course, now looking back on it, we should have held on to it, but it kind of like got it. It kind of like kicked our whole like interest in the NFT space. That was probably like August last year, and then the summit was coming up, and Ada Girl's like, hey, we got to go. And so we booked a trip, and it was fun because like we got to, we took our time getting up there. We flew into Denver and we went to Estes Park and just did some fun stuff on up into Wyoming. And then like the first person we meet is Justin. I don't know if you guys know Justin with he's Vapor Monkey, but he runs Mint City. And the first person we met in NFTs, and he does crypto pets. And he was just like the nicest guy. And we immediately were like, man, we're like in the right place. These people, like everybody we met at that bar that night when we first got there, they were like super nice. And of course, we went to the summit and we met a lot of people there that were just super nice. So anyway, that's really where we got to. And it's been kind of a cool journey to, come along in the space and, help move it into a positive direction. And obviously, Ada Girl wanted to be a Cardano ambassador, so I supported her on that. And she's got her fingers in quite a few projects. So it's been a cool ride, and it's fun that we can kind of shut down the night and talk about it. So.
I love that you guys host meetups as well. That is so cool. How many have y'all done?
We have been doing them since January, so we're heading on our 7th one in July.
I love that. Have you noticed them
Yeah.
growing, or how's
Oh
that,
yeah.
that experience?
It was so exciting because when we first started, I didn't know what to expect, right? So we first started it, and like within a week, we had like 40 people sign up. And then it's just been growing exponentially. I think right now we have about 150 people in it. But that's been like a grassroots type of marketing and the local level. And then, now that I'm a Cardano ambassador, I was talking to some of the people at IOHK, and they talk about like marketing at like a bigger level. And so they have been doing that. So that's kind of helped our numbers as well. But I think education is key because like Malibu said, when we started in the space, we had to go through like technical stuff, technical documents, trying to find all this information and extract the information that pertained to us. And it was not an easy process. It was very, very time consuming. So my new passion has been also bringing people into the space, but then helping them understand what the space is about in an easy way to understand, which is, infographics. And so I have started working with the Blockchain Learning Center, which is a very good educational place where they teach about blockchain, but with like infographics, which I believe a lot of people are very visual learners, and infographics are perfect for something like that. So I also do translation for them. But again, it's again a passion of mine. If you're going to bring people into the space, then you have to have the tools to help them understand, what is it all about? Why should I be here? And one of the things I truly believe is that blockchain is going to change the future. So how can we help them understand that in an easy way? Because I learned it the hard way, and I'm sure most of you guys learned it the hard way. We don't want to, I mean, mass adoption is coming, and we do not want them to be going through the same stuff that we had to learn through. So, that gets me really excited too.
Real quick, Jeff, what you said, oil companies, what you worked for, man? I was an operator for 8 years at Exxon.
BP.
There you go. Nice, man. Right there in Texas, saying in Houston.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yeah,
nice.
20 years at BP.
Oh, wow. So what, you would go in and change the cards and all of that in if something would go down?
Well, I was on the first. So I don't know if you know a lot about Windows, but there was a day when you didn't have Active Directory. So my first big project at BP was moving everything over from NT4 to Windows 2000 and Active Directory. And then from there, it was just all kinds of projects.
Wow, from the
I
old.
visited.
Okay.
Yeah. I visited visited all the refineries and did
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
You kind of like upgraded the new control rooms.
Yeah, I mean, I put servers in. I built
Yeah.
applications.
Wow.
I mean, I did pretty much everything. The oil rig that blew up in the Gulf, I had servers on that one that I just built and put on there, and I was just configuring them. And so, I worked on I never got to fly out to the rigs. I always had guys that went out there, but I would build all the stuff in Houston and ship it out there. So yeah, I did quite a bit of the infrastructure for BP. Built the data centers in Texas for BP.
Shout out to my Texans. Hook 'em horns. Hey,
Haha.
I just want to give a huge, huge shout out to, first and foremost, thank you, Krissy. Thank you, Ada Girl, for putting on this space for women in CNFT, putting down the pressure, letting them know. I always say, yeah, girls and women are the underdogs. They're the biggest dogs. Woof. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you see
We
that
love
with
it, yeah.
you already know, Chris. You see that with ChroniCles, you see that with Malibu. You know what I'm saying? And man, thank you for doing your role to get the ladies involved and supporting them as well, man. Because it's really needed in our spaces. It's a huge passion of mine. People hear the word minority thrown around, they automatically think, oh, black, but it's not. It's about women in the space, right? It's about the missing sector, the educational sector. Not only that, just that. We need to. My woman's a lawyer, so just to put it into perspective, right? So I don't know if you guys and gals
You
know
should
anything
bring her
about
in. You should bring
women.
her in.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to.
So
I'm telling her right,
now,
baby. Look, she's in
okay,
the bed right now. I'm like, baby, do you want to listen? I'm trying to. Hopefully y'all saying something to get her. She's like, oh no, not this crypto stuff
Well,
again.
let me tell you. Let me tell you though. My profession is as a nurse, and I have a doctorate degree in a nurse. But this is where I want to be, y'all, because this is the future. Okay, and so don't tell her not to be scared. I mean, it's hard going from like healthcare. I've been in it for so long to blockchain, and there was a huge learning curve. But this is the future. So tell her, tell her and you know what? There's a lot of room for lawyers in this space right now, especially with regulations. Man, she'd make a killing.
Who you tell? You know what? I just keep doing me. I've always been like that, right? Like I can recall like being, I'm a 2017 kind of like investor. I've been watching crypto for a while, since 2010, but I really really got into it around 2017, and everybody and their mother told me I was insane. Like, man, you're insane. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. But I'm like, I see it. I don't know, man. This guy's really good at either he's a hell of a salesman, right, or he actually knows what he's talking about. And I think it's, with intelligence and ability, we've seen him showcase his talents on, in front of the House of Representatives, and that was like huge to me. I've been listening to that 3 days over and over again. It feels like that first day when I heard him speak in front of that whiteboard. So, what I want to say to that is this though. women, I hope y'all continue to make your presence and your force felt here on our blockchain. You got a supporter in AI. I look forward to being able to cipher. I'm a man, right? And not to say that I don't know how to talk to women, but women take a kind of ear to other women, right? Especially when they're in a space where they're limited. So I'm no fool. I'm nobody's fool. My job is to get people on board in the right manner, under the right, leadership, right, under the right guidance, because that's so much of my experience with crypto. I heard you guys and gals talking about your crypto experience. So much of my experience was someone actually fostering me in here. So big shout out to that man, because that just the exposure changed my life, right? Just the idea of Cardano and looking at the science behind it really changed my life for the better. And this Web3 is to be used to our benefits, and the empowerment that Ali just illustrated right there, no pun intended. It's true, that's the layers that most people aren't able to see beyond. They just see it as a currency, right? They don't see it for its true intrinsic value. So shout out to y'all ladies. It's late over here where I'm at. I want to hang, but I also want to give other women in this space a chance to speak. I see we got Shirley Lowe, the most infamous lady in the Twitter space. Shout out to you, Shirley Lowe. You got my heart.
Shout out to Shirley Lowe.
Shout out to Shirley Lowe. I gotta let my girl know.
We need to hear Shirley Lowe then. We need to hear from
Hey,
her. But
listen,
AI,
like
I do want to tell
y'all
you,
ladies can say what y'all want. Shirley Lowe is the OG DGen. She is always where the money is at. She pops up. She's about that bag for real.
And I also want
nothing
to
wrong
shout
with
out.
that.
I also want to shout out another inspirational couple in the space. We got the Driz and the Rise. And, when I first made contact with them, it's an uphill battle, right? Like anytime there's certain challenges. We're not going to be naive and sit up here and say they don't exist. Well, just check the scoreboard, right? So there are certain challenges, but it's at the same time, it's like, what are we fighting for? Are we fighting to keep things the same, or are we fighting to make a change, right? And seeing and hearing the backlog story of couples like the Dreads and like Arise, man, it's really inspiring to me. It really lights a lot of fire to my flame and keeps me going. So it even gives me something to look forward to with my lady whenever she's ready to convert. So but thank y'all all.
Bring her to CNFT Con. I promise you, by the time she leaves, your wallet will be hurting. She'll be wanting all that stuff.
Oh,
Hey,
they
But
gonna do
yeah,
you
bring her to
dirty, my
CNFT
boy.
Con.
she loves the luxury shopping too. So oh no, you're not gonna do me like that.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
that's
no, baby, you
awesome.
don't want to do crypto. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank
No,
y'all
thank
both.
you. AI, I wanted to also give you a big shout out because you've always been very, very sweet and very kind to everybody in the spaces. But it kind of when I go into spaces with a bunch of guys, I learned so much from just listening, like Chronic, from you, from all these other gentlemen. Crypto Heaps is up in here. I learned so much from his shows. Reddick, I mean, you guys, y'all don't even know how much that means to us because we're just allowed to just be able to just absorb. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah,
I
yeah. You
also
always
want to give a special shout out to Dana right there. Dana, you were definitely one of the first
Dana,
people to support me. And, like I had like my little Mixie Girls thing where a lot of people made fun of me for like including women in what I had going on. And you have definitely like just strutted your stuff. Like through a lot of shit that I've been through, like you definitely always had my back through a lot of that shit. So for sure, shout out to you, Dana.
Thanks, Mixie. Hey guys.
What's up, Dana? How you
Hey.
doing, girl?
Hey. Nice to be here.
Welcome
W-
in.
Thank you. Thank you for putting on the space, Allie. I caught your story. I always love listening to Allie's journey. Like every time I just get so fired up. Ada girl, I hope you're feeling better as well. And so yeah. Thank you, Mixie. Of course, of course. this whole Twitter space journey just started with hanging out with people that you want to be around and having, I mean, just in some of those spaces, it's just so fun. Just like the random ones where you're at night and you're all hanging out with. I remember, what was it? You, me, AI Love, and oh man, there were a few other people in there. And that was the first time I'd ever been in a space with AI Love for a while. And then when I met him in person in Miami, I'm like, I thought you were like a 60-year-old man from the bayou. But no, of course, always here to support you guys.
Are you gonna tell us your story, girl? Because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, a women's view, a journey into crypto. My journey into crypto started in 2014, actually. I was dating somebody who founded a cryptocurrency ATM machine company, and he had like one machine when we started dating, and when he opened up his second one, he was like, you don't support me, you don't have any Bitcoin. And so I was like, okay, I'll go over there and get some Bitcoin. But at that point, it was even more than it is today. I mean, I could hear my mom's voice in my head, like, don't be giving that boy your money. So when I went over to the machine, I had put 500, and then I took one of the zeros away. And so I've been holding Bitcoin for a while, but just at a small scale, nothing life-changing or anything. But it's kind of my little claim to fame. And then it wasn't until last year that during the pandemic, I have another good friend who started really getting on my back. He's like, Dana, you need to find your Bitcoin and you need to start researching the market, because there are other protocols out there. And he was all into a bunch of different chains. And so I actually went down the rabbit hole, and we were sending each other videos back and forth, and I stumbled upon this video of Charles doing I think it was he was in London doing some talk at a conference in 2018, and this video was like 2 hours long, and I could not stop listening to it. Not only was he the first one that made crypto seem palatable, he was explaining the real life use cases for it in a way that I could understand, and more than just DeFi and things of that nature. But he was also talking about what they were trying to do with different countries and the partnerships that they were putting together. And it was weird. It was not weird, but it was really cool that last year, while I was watching this video, those partnerships were being solidified in real life. So I'm like, oh my gosh, all this stuff that he said in 2018 is happening. So this isn't just some guy who's trying to put, like, he's actually walking the talk, not just talking the talk. And so and I love the academic rigor behind it and everything like that. So I got involved financially, in addition to some other. I love Cardano's like a first love for me, but I am chain agnostic. Like, I hold a number of different protocols, but Cardano is probably number one on my list. And then started jumping into Twitter Spaces in the fall. I didn't even know that Twitter had Spaces, and I hadn't opened up my Twitter account in like 10 years. But I had a friend who I knew was on there, and I just randomly jumped on, and I'm like, what are these bubbles at the top? And I pressed one, and then I started hearing people speaking, and it shocked me. And so I started searching for the crypto stuff. I'm like, whoa, I wonder if people are having discussions about crypto. And that's when the Cardano community too became, I became aware of them on Twitter. And it's just been an evolution of being in the rooms with people and then coming up to speak, and then started doing some catalyst experimenting in February with Fund 7, and then, you know, it was never a desire, something in the plans to drop a project. But then after so many people kept on asking, like, why aren't you guys using NFTs to help fund your film? That we were like, okay, let's try it out. So we've been on that journey as well. And let me just tell you, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anyone who has a project that has been successful, I don't care what chain you're on, I give you so many props. It is a journey, especially right now when there's kind of there's not a blueprint to have a successful project. It is not. It is, you know, finding the right people, finding the right strategy for you personally and your project. So really, it's just me and my business partner, two people who knew nothing about cryptocurrency, like at the level that many of you do, to jumping in and learning and having advisors coming alongside of us. Like, it's just been a wild ride. So that's my journey in the crypto. So thank you for letting me share.
Well, thank you for sharing. I love it. It's so interesting that everyone just started in a different way and had a different way to navigate the system. But we all landed in the same spot. We're all here. So that's even just so exciting and so wonderful. Um, I think, is there anyone else? I think Crypto Girl is here. Do you want to talk about your story?
She is in Twitter Spaces all the time. Hey Mopar, I can't wait to hear your journey. I've always talked with you through Discord and Twitter, but not got to talk to you up here. So what's
Hey
up?
girls,
Thank
have fun.
you. You're such a great supporter. We love seeing you.
Thank you. Representing Cardano down in the Southern Hemi, and I apologize for the Australian accent. It sounds funny on Spaces.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Keep talking.
So I've been sitting here listening, and I don't have my charger with me, so I really hope that I don't rug. But can I say that I'm actually exactly the opposite? My husband actually doesn't like NFTs at all. I spend way too much time on my computer. So this is sort of a solo effort for me. And my biggest mistake was probably telling him how much chilled Kongs are actually worth now and how much I paid for them at the start, because he just sees the dollar signs and wants me to sell them all and build him a shed, which is quite funny.
Oh my God, that's so
His
funny.
man cave.
I love that. Quite an opposite.
Yeah. But you know, they say never marry your NFTs, but I am so married to my chilled Kongs. They're just not going anywhere.
Agreed. Love them.
But I guess the first, my first introduction to Cardano was on a YouTube channel where Charles had come to talk about Cardano, and I saw a World Mobile Token video, and it was just a quick 2-minute video, and it was talking about connecting the unconnected and banking the unbanked, and it was in Africa, and it really resonated with me. And for such a short video, it just got me hooked. So I started looking at more things on Cardano on Twitter, and you know, the algorithm just brought up a lot of things associated with Cardano, and delegation came up, and I thought, what a great way to actually earn more Cardano by doing nothing, because I was horrible at charts. I was that person that would buy the red, sell the green. I was really, really bad. And so I just thought, I'm definitely a hodler. So I just thought, how about I just delegate and earn crypto? And then I saw this cute little picture of this C Dino, that it was called, for the stake pool that I was involved in, and that was my first NFT in my pools, and I was hooked. And reading up about them on Twitter and stuff, and I guess, as I said before, the algorithm was just putting more and more CNFTs into my vision. So don't laugh at me, but I've won a raffle position on Cardano Rocks, and that was I'd known about the Ethereum rocks, and I knew at that time they were going for crazy amounts of money. And I thought, if this even got to like 1/10 of what the Ethereum ones were, I would be so rich. And it actually did really well. And within, I think it was about 5 days, something that I'd paid 25 ADA for was up. I got one on the secondary as well, so I had two, and I sold my first one for about 12 or 1300 ADA, which was just massive, and I was hooked, absolutely hooked. So I had all this ADA, and I'm like, I am shopping. So I went and bought a Yummy, and I bought a Zombie Chains, and just started filling the wallet, and started the minting process after that. And my big mint was chilled Kongs, and just loved the community within Discord. And ever since then, I've just been, getting to know the community around Cardano, and being involved as much as I can and learning. I love, going into spaces. I am always in NFA and listening to everyone instead of listening to music. I listen to Twitter spaces because I really want to learn as much as I can and onboard as many people as I can to experience, the fun that we get to experience on a daily basis. So, so always on NFA and in Telegram groups, and that's sort of how it's been rolling.
I love that. And I see you every day, almost in every NFA Twitter space. So I see you, girl.
Stalking.
I see you. No, I just am so glad to finally get to talk to you, because I've always wondered what your journey was like and wanted to hear, what you were doing during the day when you were, always jumping around different spaces and listening and kind of where you were at. So thank you for joining up today. I really appreciate that.
I just wanted to say one thing, like a lot of girls have girl profile pictures because, 3-4 months ago, it's such a male dominated area, especially Discord. It seems like 95% of people in Discords are male, and you get called bro 20-30 times a day, hence why I've got girl in my name. And I tell you what, that still does not help at all.
No, you still get called bro. I mean, it
You
happens
still
to me
get
all
called
the
bro.
time. I'm
Yeah,
Ada
but
girl, and they call me bro. But yeah, I
Ada
get
girl.
it.
Yeah. But I really have noticed that starting to change. I really think that they are understanding that there's more and more women in here. And it's not like they're a pack of guys hanging out together anymore. So that is one change that I've seen recently.
I agree with
Come
you.
on now, I thought bro unisex.
And
I don't know.
here's my thing. Here's my take on bro. Like I don't, it doesn't bother me as much,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean I hang out with a lot of guys, and I kind of feel like if they call you bro, then they feel comfortable with you and you've kind of been accepted into the circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really
Yeah.
bother me. So I kind of feel, and they call everybody bro. They probably call their mom bro if they could. And it's a kind of like a welcome. I feel welcomed. I don't take it as offensive, but I think it really just depends on, I also know, just because I've been a gamer most of my life as well, that there's a lot of guys that play girl characters. And so they don't assume that you're a girl just because you're a girl, like your name says girl. So I think that's another kind of challenge that it comes from this anonymous type of space. You can't really know who you're talking to, which is what makes Twitter spaces really great, because you can hear if it's a girl or a guy.
That is so true. Hey, Royal Dreads, I saw you had your hands up. I wanted to thank you, Mopar, for giving us your journey as well. Wanted to go ahead and see Royal if you had something you wanted to say along about your journey into crypto. What's up?
What's up? Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. It's nice being in the space, and shout out to all the women here and all the guys here who support us. So lots of love to everybody. I think my journey into crypto has been somewhat similar, and then in other ways different from everyone's. Arise and I, um, for those of you who don't know, we're husband and wife, and we started into crypto back around like 2013. We're from up north. We're from the six, Toronto, and we would go to some of the meetup groups. And down there, that's when Ethereum was first getting started. This is before they even. This was when there was just, you know, getting the code together, and they was talking about like, the guy Derorio was. He was so excited, him and his wife, and they were talking about this young boy who was such and whatnot, and that gave birth to Ethereum. And they had put in this meetup space they had put together, they had put a machine that you could buy Bitcoin. So Arise and I, we decided that, let's go, get some Bitcoin. Anyway, long story short, we bought it, and lost our keys and phrases and all that. And so that was my first journey into crypto, getting it, losing it because lost lost the phrase. But we really did like the whole idea of decentralization, and we have been part of companies that we've sort of consulted with on various crypto projects. And then we start hearing more about um, Cardano, and we was just really liked what Cardano stood for, and Arise start going to some of the Catalyst meetings, and from there we discovered the crypto, the Twitter Spaces. Simultaneously, we start looking to NFTs and start thinking about how to marry IRL activities through to Web3. And from there, we have birthed the Royal Dread project. So that's been our journey. We're really excited. We love the fact that we've been able to have that bridge where our project is both going to be vibrant in Web3 as well as bringing, because we don't live on Twitter. We come to Twitter, we hang out. I enjoy meeting all of you. A lot of you I know, like Ada Girl and whatnot. I've been very, very blessed. From the time I came into the Twitter spaces, I've been so welcomed. Um, with Holy Bins and AI, they just, were so warm and welcoming to Arise and I, and reached out and we formed a great relationship. And also Rax, I'm sure you guys have seen Rax around, Mixie and Crypto Cav, and I just go on and on because if I keep going, I'm gonna miss somebody, and I'm sure I don't want to do that. But definitely to the point where AI and Holy, they have actually been part of our project, and they have just enriched it and had it at added dimensions to it, which is just phenomenal. So, from a woman's perspective, I've never felt that you know like there was a difference between men and women, but I've always been in male dominated industries anyway because I'm a MBA and I've been in finance my whole life. So I don't actually look at things always from men and women, except when there is differences, because I'm not naive enough to think that there are not differences made, because we know there is. That's a fact. I just find that you need to definitely stand up and fight for the times when differences are made. But for you to forge forward, you can't sort of look through everything through those glasses. You just got to look at what it is you're trying to achieve.
Well said. I truly enjoyed listening to you, and I love all the different backgrounds that we all come from. How wonderful is that? And that we're all still here. I thank you so much for sharing. If I could ask you, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned on your journey?
I think the biggest, but I can't say the biggest. I've learned many lessons, and I'm hoping to learn a lot more. Life, the whole purpose of life, I think, is to grow. But as far as being in crypto, I really love the idea of marrying business social impact together. And what I've learned is how to do that, and how the NFTs has made that very, very easy. I truly believe in win-win scenarios, and I think that you got to be a blessing to get a blessing, and it's so important to you know to just to be there for each other. And I find that in our community, the Cardano community, I've noticed that. Like, I knew nothing about Discord. That was one thing. I still feel sort of like uneasy, in the sense of like I don't understand how to operate it and stuff. Luckily, we've had people in the community who have just come on board and said, you know what, we'll help you out, we'll teach you and whatnot. Like, you know, it's weird because you think that Discord is something that is just another, I guess, sort of communication space sort of thing. But I just find it, you know, different, interesting. I'm enjoying it. But that one has a learning curve for me. But, you know, I've just had so much successful help in there, which is really, really good. So what I've learned that this is a place where people care, and where we can join together and we can rise together. And I think that's beautiful.
On point. Thank you so much. That is so wonderful. I really appreciate you coming up.
I agree. It's like we're all very, very like-minded individuals coming from very different backgrounds, but we all have the same outlook and the same way of viewing different things and what we've been noticing in our lives and what we want to change. Especially in the financial industry and everything. So it's awesome to hear everybody's points of view. What's up, CNFT protege, new age?
Hi. Um, so, oh gosh, it's not always that I get a little nervous or excited or jittery. So this space has got me feeling that way, and it's a good thing. Whew, this is one of those special spaces. Because I just want to say thank you to all the women in the crypto community remaining and growing and helping others get into the community. And I just wanted to say that each and every one of you, since I've gotten into the space, women in general, on a communication level, as a guy, one of my weaknesses is listening and communicating. My wife will say that too. um, and I feel like having the woman's voice in these spaces has, for me, taught me how to listen, pay attention, intrinsically, internally hear what is being said, slowing down and paying attention. And I just want to say it wouldn't be the same without the women in crypto, and also the maturity on so many levels, from the spiritual, emotional, intellectual aspect, bringing that into the space where it helps create a much more linear, efficient, effective conversation that helps grow and build rather than strike down or complicate someone who's talking about their project or whatever, because I believe that the dynamic in how you all are building up each other bleeds outward into any other space, right? Because it's just how you naturally all operate to take care of and help each other, right? And I have felt the blessing of that, right? I feel like I've benefited from that from you all. And so I want to say thank you on that. And then also, someone earlier said how they bought a chill Kong and made a profit, and then their hubby was like, I want a man shed. That gave me such the freaking like that irked me. Like that just gave me the biggest itch in the back of my heel, and I'm just like, no, build a she shed or a her shed or whatever the hell she wants. Because you know what, there is the banking the unbanked narrative, right? But at the same time, on a gender level, right? In the traditional traditional sense of the patriarchy created financial structure, down with the patriarchy. It's allowing for, I believe, not just those who are unbanked, but those who have never had an opportunity to be able to have control of their own finances or the education to learn or the ability or, just being their own person in charge of their own life to include their finances on an equal rights level. I believe that's so game changing and future going, right? So, on that note, hell no to his shed and get whatever the frick you want. Fuck. Oh my god. Excuse myself for cursing, but that's actually what got me to come up here. I just want to say screw that shit. Um, and thank you all for all just being in the space, and that's all.
Thank you for your support. I'll let him know.
Thanks for coming,
Like,
protege.
you know what? He said this in the space. You can't have your man shed.
He said, "Oh hell no!" He backed it up. I'm coming up there to
That's right.
he shed. Thank you, and thank you, protege. We
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing your
Mhm.
passion, and of course, validating our spot in this space too. It means a lot to me. It means a lot, and I know to everyone else.
Sorry, I don't know if I cut off there, but I uh, even it's not the word validating. You all are a force to reckon with. You all are a force to respect, and it's like it's not me coming up here. I hope no one takes it that way where I'm like, yup, validating that. No, no. It's me saying things just wouldn't be the same or wouldn't be as good without y'all. You know what I mean? It's like I'm I just know that I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for my sisters, my mother, my grandmother, and my wife, right? In terms of being human, on a blockchain crypto, yeah, it's all code and tech and whatnot, but the human beings, the genders and that are in it, we still we make crypto human or part of humanity too, right? And it just would be all code, black and white, and robotic without us.
I love
And
you, man.
yeah, I,
We
y'all
love
y'all
each other.
rock.
You're
I
the
love
man,
it too. I
protege.
love
Love you, brother. Not trying to cut y'all off, but it's getting late as hell. And we got a couple more ladies that want to speak. Sorry, my brother.
No, yes, I'm done. I just want to say thank y'all. Buenas noches, bon noche, good night,
You a
adios.
trip, son. You better be at TNT and be the same goddamn way, bro. I promise.
right.
I'm not
For sure.
joking, bro. I want to see your ass doing the same shit, bro. I'm
We'll be
not
Who's
looking for
joking.
you.
less ladies going? Are all
Much love. I think it's YOLO Solo might have jumped up in here.
up?
How
Yo,
we doing?
And I think Mixed Screens wanted to talk
yeah.
too. So
Mixed, you can go first.
You know, ladies go first. Come on now, don't play with me.
Okay, I'll go then. So I just wanted to say hi to everyone. My name is Jen. I also go by YOLO. I actually was going to take a night off Twitter Spaces tonight, but saw this space pop up and wanted to join. Krissy, I've heard you talk for a while, but I don't think we've ever talked like spoken in spaces before. But I heard you talk like at Wednesday and stuff like that, and I've heard you in NFA and just really liked what you had to say. So glad to finally actually meet you on a Twitter space.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
In terms of a journey, my journey's been pretty short. I've only been in crypto since January. The way I got here is that three of us on our project have had a business together since 2015. And it's a fintech business. And once COVID hit, like business started to decline. And so we were thinking of like pivoting. It's like, what are we going to do? And the CTO has been in crypto since 2014 and like mined Bitcoin and, has been really tied into it since then. And he was kind of like, I think there's something to this like NFT thing. And he talked about how it could be the future of, deeds and licenses and all these things being NFTs. And I got really interested because I'm like a pretty like technical person. And so we decided to kind of like, I did a bunch of competitive research and, analysis, all that sort of stuff, and thought it sounded like awesome. And like, there was a really good opportunity there. So it's only been since January though, that I've been in it and just been cramming like, and all this is watching all the, review videos and all that stuff. And I'm managing our social media, like, which I had never like done anything honestly with social media before. So I've definitely fumbled my way through that, but I've enjoyed it. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. That's basically been my journey in terms of like being a woman. Honestly, I haven't like all the guys have been really welcoming, and in my experience like toward me. And I guess I'm used to being in male dominant. Undergrad was in like math and science, and then I was in like the tech side of like marketing and business, and so it wasn't so strange, I guess, to hear just kind of male voices all the time and all of that. But it's nice also to see like communities like this, and there is kind of like a hey, it's like other girls around, like that's cool kind of feeling too. No, no shade to the guys. The guys have like been great as well. So yeah, that's been my journey thus far, and I've loved it. I've loved getting to know the community, and plan on being here for a long time and getting to know you all better.
Well, that's awesome. And you bring up a really neat point because I came from a female dominated profession. So coming into an all male, space, it was a little different. But I didn't really feel any different. Like you really bringing it home, you're like, well, I'm kind of used to all these guys and I'm now used to all the guys. And so it wasn't a tough transition because everyone was so welcoming. So I'm glad that you brought that up because I think that if you come in open minded as a woman, I think someone else said in this space, you bring in kindness and you get kindness back or something to that effect. And I believe in that as well. So thank you for sharing your story.
If I can just put a comment out there before Mixed Screens goes to what you just said, Ada Girl, and also YOLO Solo. I think what's really cool about these spaces is that we're actually having conversations, and like I was in corporate America for years in male dominated industries as well, but what I found I had to do in order to survive was kind of suppress the female side of me, like the thought and expression, and I almost had to be like play a man's role in order to climb those ladders, and I was really like, I took pride in that. Working with the guys, I can do all this stuff, but then you 12 years in, you realize, oh my gosh, like this is not healthy. And what's different about this space is that you come into here, you're having conversations, and you're realizing that like guys and it's still happening in some circles, but I would say that a lot of the men in this room particularly, and the men who have helped to foster my journey when I first came into the Twitter world, were very much open and like help to foster, like, hey, it was very different for me. I was like, oh, it's okay to be a woman in this space and not be a woman that needs to play by a man's rules. Like, it's actually, people want us to still be, they want us to have like our expression and the female thought out there, not just we need to like change or to be a certain way in order to be here. We can be ourselves. So I just wanted to say that's what I think is really special about this new space.
I hear you, Dana. There's a theory called male gaze, and male gaze is the theory that the world, every action and reaction that we have is in relation to, because the societies that we have been dominated by men. So even when we're either moving towards or we're moving away. However, what helps to empower us and change that is when we allow ourselves to be our authentic selves. And part of that is realizing that most things are not even male or female. I love sports, and most people, a lot of times, you think of loving sports as a male thing, but I love sports. I love sports. I like to watch sports. I like to play sports. And but when you translate that, and men, they love cooking, they love being fathers. And you see on social media now, so many men, they're combing their children's hair and stuff like that. So those lines are now being widened and becoming more unified, and I think that's beautiful. And when somebody like yourself, you know, who has recognized that and is able to, which is what you've done, just be your authentic self, that is just really, really awesome.
Thank you. I love that, Royal.
So, Mix, do you want to go ahead with your question or whatever you had to say with your hand up?
It wasn't really a question, but like I just wanted to give my testimony because, like, a lot of people have been giving their testimonies and stuff. Like I've never really told many people about it, but it's like, if it wasn't for like the women that I met when I initially came into like the crypto space, I would not be here at all. Like I'm one of those people where it's like, like it as a lot of people may have the same story, like I was one of those badasses doing dumb stuff and all of that type of shit. So it's like when I came into the crypto world, I really didn't know how to mix in with people. Like I didn't really think that I fit in because like I was so different from a lot of people. So, like I started my own space, and it was like a cross chain space talking about all different types of stuff. And so shout out to all the guys also that were in there too. Like I'm not gonna just say that there was just nobody in there. But what I can say is, like, if it wasn't for people like KK, aka K Hill, or like Baddie, aka like Bads, like I would start a space and it would just be me and them talking for hours. Like nobody joined, nobody really supported it like that. So it's like they kind of gave me the confidence to, like, stay in here and become who I today in the space. So And then also, like, then Dana started coming through, and I remember people started DMing me. They were like, "Yo, Dana's here. You need to make her a co-host." And I'm one of those people. Like, I'm not about to just make you a co-host just because people told me. Like, I'm gonna make you a co-host because I fuck with you. So like, Dana wasn't my co-host at first, but then at the same time, it's like just the conversation that she came through and just like the vibes that she came through with. And it's just like one thing I remember about Dana is just like every time we could be in like a heated debate, because I used to get in a lot of heated debates because like I'm cross chain having conversations saying like, hey, okay, Solana has this, Ethereum has this, AVAX has this, and we used to get in big ass arguments and all that type of shit. But one thing I remember about Dana is like Dana will always come through and just solve the problem. Like whatever problem it was, like she would just come through and then like all of a sudden the argument stops. Like she would just say her few words and it's all good. So like I can definitely say that, you know, I I owe like my presence in this space right now to a lot of women in Cardano, and I'm never gonna take that away from y'all. And like also like down there YOLO solos, like I chose to start getting on Twitch. Like I haven't really twitched with you yet, YOLO, but like I kind of hinted at it saying that I was gonna like start twitching and doing like some gaming on stuff. YOLO, you were one of the first people that actually played games with me online. And also Bud Bunny. She was also one of the first people that offered to play games with me online. So it's like I owe a lot of like the stuff that I have going on to women in like Cardano and just this tech space. Like I would not be here without the support of the women that I've met through this process. So I would just like to give a huge thank you to all of you. And then also you, Krissy. Like I don't know if one of the first time I talked to you, I was saying like it was me, you, Chronic, and just NFA, and I was saying, yo, I would hate to have a girl in crypto because she's gonna wake me up at like 3 in the morning talking about we need to mint this shit right now. And it's like honestly, just from knowing you and Chronic, it's like you kind of showed me that all girls aren't like that. It's just, you just have to have the girl that understands what's going on and all of that type stuff. So also you, Krissy, you've taught me a lot of stuff as well. So yeah, I just wanted to, give my testimony and shout out to the women in Cardano and the tech world and all of that, because I definitely would not be the guy that I am in like, the crypto world without y'all.
Thank you, Mix. That's really sweet. I really appreciate you saying that. We love hearing you all come up here and tell us your side as well. We love hearing your testimonies. We love hearing what you truly think about us being in this space because, we're not mind readers. We don't know how y'all think and what you feel about us coming into a very male dominated world, and hearing your all's viewpoints is really heartwarming, and it gives even me more confidence in what I'm doing and where I'm going. T Ada, what is up, girl? You came up here with your hand up. How are you? Welcome to the space.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so great to hear this. Yeah, just a really good time to be here. I feel that we're at the precipice of really breaking through a lot of barriers and, you know, kind of building inclusivity into all aspects of what the blockchain can mean for so many people around the world globally. And so it's really, really great to hear you ladies talking. And I loved what New Age said about kind of putting the human back into the blockchain. And yeah, I just wanted to really say hey, and I appreciate the space y'all are doing tonight. And we got to, keep that balance and that harmony and the yin and the yang and the masculine, the feminine, and just like keep it flowing. So just shout out to all of you guys like telling your story and just really appreciate it.
Girl, you speak my language. Thank you for coming up here. I appreciate that so much. I believe in the same way, keeping the balance between masculine and feminine, no matter who you are. So the energies need to keep balanced, and that's what we're doing here, and that's what we're trying to do, and give out good energy no matter who you are, and whether you're male or female. So y'all, thanks for being here. This has been amazing. What else do y'all have to talk about? Do you have any questions for all the amazing ladies up here? Anything different that anyone wants to add in? We'd love to hear before we decide to end this. Who wants to come up and chat? Or Ada, do you have any questions? Ada girl, any
I
more questions
do.
for any of the girls
I
up here?
do. Well, I have a question for you because I've been
Oh,
wanting to know this.
yes.
And so then, and after you answer, I'll answer it too, because I think we may have the same or maybe different answers. But what is your biggest lesson that you've learned up until now?
That is a good question. Something I've been pondering over during this whole conversation, truly. My biggest lesson, honestly, it has been that coming into this space, I don't really know how to say it, but I think I had different expectations. Um, I didn't really know, or I didn't know, I didn't really have any expectations, honestly. But what I thought was going to happen, it happened differently. And Chronic and I doing what we are doing with our, the YouTube channel and talking on Twitter Spaces, I've really realized that it is extremely important to stay humble in your journey, number one, no matter what you're doing or where you're going. And that it doesn't matter. At first, I used to be really nervous to talk about the mistakes that I have made in this journey. And a big lesson for me is how important it is to talk about them and to be about them and to learn from others because, I was afraid to tell everybody what I might have done wrong. Oh my God, they're going to laugh. Like, that was a stupid mistake. But no, it actually just, shows that we're all the same. We're all human. We all are making the same mistakes. We're all on the same journey. And it's okay to talk about it. Be open, be yourself. Don't put on the face. Just everyone's going to accept you for who you are if you're real. And that's pretty much me. That's it. How about you, Ada girl?
So I, I agree with you on so many points. But I think one of the highest ones is the authenticity. I think people know, like if you're authentic, people will know right off, and if you're not, they'll know. Real knows real, and I see that quote all the time in this space. So that is one, but the most important lesson that I've learned is the importance of relationships that you do grow in this space, like, and the impact that you may have on somebody that you may not even talk to, but they are watching. And I think because this space is so small right now, we're all kind of a tight knit group. I think it's very, very wonderful because those relationships that we form here when we meet IRL, it's even more meaningful. And I've had that experience already. And y'all, it is the most powerful thing because then, like Chronic was saying, I hope you're like this in person because you better bring that energy in person. And every single one that I've met so far has been authentic. And so I'm so happy for that. But that was my biggest lesson is just seeking out um, good people that you vibe with and treasuring those relationships and not thinking, oh, well, I'll never meet that person because you just don't know. You probably will. And it's glorious. And I think that's really what we all kind of strive for. Just like you said, keep striving for meeting up with good people. And when you do meet in real life, it's just going to click and it's going to be great. And we're going to keep on keeping on and building on our future together. So That's one of my biggest lessons. Just be real. Just be yourself.
I love that. What about any of the other ladies up here? Anyone have their biggest lesson that they've learned through their journey, or their biggest advice they would give to anyone out here in the audience?
I would just say for me, the biggest lesson is, and I'm losing my voice, 4 nights of trying to talk in loud places here in New York is getting to me. For me, the lesson that I've learned is keep going. Like, even when a setback comes, or the market's down, or things don't look you have an obstacle coming your way, because there are, if this was easy, everyone would be doing it right now. And I think the thing that keeps me going is, first of all, the fact that you come into these spaces and it's about seeing that people are still here, people are still building, and there's always somebody to encourage you. And if you believe in what you're trying to do, keep going, push through it, and the reward is on the other side. There's a breakthrough on the other side of whatever it is you're going through, because we've seen that ourselves, and it's all going to be worth it. So I would just say that as a point of encouragement, and that there's always people here. Like, if anybody ever needs somebody to talk to, or is having a bad day, or is just like wondering, oh my gosh, what did I do? I made a mistake, because we all have made mistakes doing this journey, especially if you're building, just to know that you're not alone. So that's my biggest thing of advice. And also, my other thing of advice is that anyone coming to Vegas for CNFTCon needs to let me know. And also, I met Nikki, Nickel Yaz is his name on Twitter, and we're like standing next to each other a few days ago in line to go into the club together. And I'm like, where are you from? He's like, Vegas. I'm like, me too. You never know who is, I love that guy. So now it's just building the communities. These spaces in crypto are allowing us to widen our networks in real life, and you don't even know like who's in the next neighborhood to you. So
I cannot wait for Vegas. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you for that, Dana. I completely agree with that. As you were talking about that, that made me think of another lesson that I definitely have been learning, is building up more of a tough skin as well, in this space. Definitely, definitely, even being a woman in a very male dominated space, you have to have a tough skin. And I grew up with my brother, with my male neighbor, like lots of friends who were my brother's friends, my friends, lots of guys. And I grew up very tough anyway, but in this space, like, you have to also accept that sometimes, you're going to do a ton of work, or just as much work as, maybe the guy next to you. And there have been times that, you're not given the credit that you deserve. And it can hit you. I mean, that can happen whether you're male or female, but it hits a little differently, when you're a little bit more of a minority in the space. And I can understand that. And you just have to learn to just keep moving, keep pushing, because there's so many other people who are so supportive and amazing. The one time I might, feel like that might happen, or the credit might not be given where it deserved, I turn around and 10 more people are there to give it and give lots of love. And so just know that it's not you, and you're doing amazing, and stick tough in your skin. And what's up? T Ada, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just kind of speaking about lessons and stuff, I just wanted to kind of bring it back to my PFP, the Ada, and she's the intuition. And you just really, really, I hope that everyone can like follow their heart and like what's flowing in their minds, because if you don't believe in something, you might just not need to be there. And so just like put your heart and your soul and your Ada where you believe, and let's make these changes together. So we have the community, and that's where our strength's going to come in. So appreciate it.
I love that. Absolutely follow your intuition. We have the absolute best community here. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Mixed, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I had two other shout outs that I just thought about. Shout out to you, Royal Dreads, because definitely, like, I remember, like, I had a space where I was just venting about a lot of shit, and you were definitely one of the main people in there just talking to me and getting me through all of that type shit. And also, shout out to excuse me, I'm gonna have to do the because I like every time I hear an R in someone's name, I have to do the so Raki, shout out to Rex, because she also like has given me a lot of like support, and um I just wanted to shout them out specifically because like they definitely have helped me get through a lot of things. Like as you guys kind of hear, like a lot of women have helped me get through a lot of things when it comes to just navigating this space. So I just want to give my I just want to let them know how much I appreciate them for that.
We appreciate you, Mixie. You always welcome us with such open arms. So you know, nothing but love.
Thank you for sharing that. I just love listening to your, words of gratitude, and hopefully we are helping you. And I think from your testimony, I'm so glad that you've been able to find that kind of help and that solace that you need. And I think that women do bring like a little different perspective to issues or problems, or even for fun, fun, having fun. So thank you for sharing that. It was wonderful.
Speaking of fun, I just realized, so I'm staying in Brooklyn at my cousin's house. She's not here, she's at a friend's. And in her room, which is where I am, she has a huge tank with a lizard in it and then a snake in another tank. And every time the voices have changed, I just looked over at this lizard. It is like trying to hear what's going on. It's like moving its head every time every time a different person changes. I'm gonna
He's
post it.
like, what the heck is going on, man? You're
Like
trying to freak me out.
when Mick started talking, it like went over there, and then Royal Dread started talking, and it was like put its head up, like its ear up to the ceiling. Like, wait, who's now talking?
That's amazing. All right. So, anyone else would like to come up and say anything? Or Ada girl, you have any more questions for anyone? This has been an amazing space. I'm really thankful for that everyone joined here and we could do this. I can't wait to listen to it all back again.
Oh yeah, it has been so wonderful, and I think when we were talking about the space and what we were going to do, I think it has exceeded our expectations just because of the presence of everyone here, their mindset, and the again the welcoming inclusion of everyone. And I see down here all these people that are supporting women. It's again just gives me the feels. I'm not even gonna lie. Thank y'all so much for being here. And then we just had someone come up to Porkstein. Welcome, Porkstein.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
Doing
Everybody on
well,
stage, shout
friend.
out to
But
Ali, shout out to Ada Girl, Dana, Mixed Greens, AI love, man. You're down there, Tori. Yeah, it's been a while. I miss the women Cardano community. And yeah, I've been listening for a while. With a different layer, but I've been listening. And yeah, keep going doing what you're doing, guys. I just woke up, so I'll have my coffee with you.
Thank you for being here. I really always enjoy your perspective on things, and just you being here again. The support is overwhelming, and it's I know it's made us so very happy that you guys are here. Thank y'all so much.
So, if nothing else, I would again like to say thank you to everybody who has joined. I would love to have more spaces with you guys, you ladies again, Ada Girl, Allie, Maria, Dana, Mopar, Royal, YOLO, everyone, T, Ada, please come on up again. Let's do this more often. Let's chat, hear about more things that we're going into, not just the beginnings of our journey. Let's talk about where we're at now. I want to hear what you're minting. I want to hear what you're doing. What do you think about the market, at this time? So let's do this again, and we'll move on to the next conversation. And I would love it if everybody could join again and just keep moving up on in this women's journey with us. Thank you again to my family down there, everyone I see, Daily AI, Tal, Timmy, River, Zero, E46, Riv, Goose, Get Lost Traveling, Genki, CeeLo, Rebduce, Alaze, Ada Man, I see you all, Wurs, Diet Watch, everyone, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much and love you all. Ada Girl, you have anything else to say before we go ahead and end this? I appreciate all the speakers as well. Thank you so much for coming up. Chronic and I and Ada Girl and Jeff. Is that what you said, Malibu Ken? Did you say it was Jeff? I don't want to get that wrong, but I think that was right. But
Yeah, that
thank
was
you.
right. That's
Okay,
right.
Right.
I was like, I know I'm gonna get it wrong when I say it like that, but no,
No,
I'm
you're
so
right.
glad. I'm so glad we got to share our stories together. Getting to have another husband and wife duo to bounce ideas and advice off of is wonderful. And again, thank you all for being here. Ada Girl, go ahead and finish it off if you'd like.
Yeah, I am just super grateful for being here. I'm super grateful for just being in the space altogether. But I want to do thank you for entertaining my my idea. And I think that this is just so wonderful. I'm beyond grateful right now. I want to thank again, just to reiterate everything you've said. It means a lot. And I think we should, have these spaces and we can talk about whatever we think is a good topic. And, I love it. I love the energy. I love the space. Thank you guys so much for being here with us.
Me too. We will definitely do that. Well, if nothing else, everyone have a great day, evening, night, morning, whatever you must have. Follow your gut, follow your intuition, treat everyone as you want to be treated, and much love. Thank you again for being here. We love Cardano. We love NFTs. Take care, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.